Plus, we get the Black Friday holiday shopping season kickoff, at least as traditionally it goes. Someone who covers both of these joins us right now, Anthony Chukumba, the head of the consumer sector at Loop Capital Markets. And it's always hard to talk about Black Friday being the kickoff of the holiday season, because I feel like I've been getting promotional offers now, Anthony, for at least a month. I don't know, does that bode well, in your view, for what we should expect this holiday season?
I wouldn't really read that much into that, to be quite frank. I mean, it seems like the holiday selling season has been getting longer and longer and longer, and retailers are starting earlier and earlier and earlier with their promotions. We don't necessarily get the sense that they're starting any earlier this year as opposed to last year. One advantage that they do have is that last year, you had 5 fewer shopping days between Thanksgiving and Christmas year over year. This year, you actually have 1 additional day. So I wouldn't necessarily read into the fact you've been getting all these promotional offers.
I want to talk about some of the companies underneath your coverage, including some of the ones that you are actually somewhat bullish on, including Best Buy, which reports next week. And traditionally, in the past, it's been a big beneficiary of the holiday shopping cycle. What gives you sort of faith here that Best Buy has sort of, I guess, refound its legs, if you will?
So in terms of the upcoming holiday selling season, a lot of it just has to do with product cycle. And I would point to 3 product categories in particular. First off, PCs. And PCs have been a good business for Best Buy for quite some time. I think that that will continue because of the switch to Windows 11. So the second thing is smartphones, and we've seen very, very strong sales of the iPhone 17. We saw Apple increase their estimates in terms of how many units they think they're going to sell in the holiday quarter. That certainly bodes well for Best Buy. And the third thing is video gaming, and a lot of that is the switch too from Nintendo. You just had Nintendo report really strong results for the first half of this year, and they actually increased not only their sales estimate, but their unit estimates for the Switch 2 as well as games. And so that all really bodes well for Best Buy in the holiday selling season.
Yeah, and Best Buy certainly could use some good news, down about 7% on a total return basis year to date. I want to talk a little bit about Five Below, because that's also a name you mentioned as one of your favorite long ideas heading into the holiday season there. Five Below, of course, it's one of those discount merchandisers. Talk us through the thesis there.
Sure, absolutely. So Five Below still has a relatively new CEO in Winnie Park. She is a merchant by nature, and their merchandising has gotten significantly better since she took over. I mean, they've brought in a lot more fresh merchandise. They're leaning much more into licensing, right? So earlier in the year, it was the Minecraft movie. Right now, it is Wicked for Good, which just came out this weekend. I think next year it's going to be K-pop Demon Hunters. Remember that I said that. In addition to that, they took price adjustments on 15 to 20% of their merchandise assortment. That was really price increases, and that will help them not only with comps, but also to offset the Trump administration tariffs. And then finally, they actually have a pretty easy year-over-year comparison. Their comp store sales were actually down 3% in the fourth quarter of last year, and that was largely due to the fact that they were a little bit too cautious in terms of ordering inventory for the holiday selling season. So they will benefit from that easy comparison this year.
We should also point out, Katie Greifeld and Anthony, Five Below has the best variety and selection of Haribo gummy bears on the face of the earth, just so you know.
I didn't know that, but I have heard that you do like gummy bears, so there you have it. It's interesting, Anthony, though, when it comes to Five Below, you might be tempted to lump them in with a Dollar General, a Dollar Tree, for example. You cover both of those names, though, and you have them at a hold. So why do some of those factors not necessarily translate over to the dollar stores?
That's a great question. I mean, look, to be clear, you know, the dollar stores in many ways, particularly Dollar General, they're just like small supermarkets, right? I mean, just think of, you know, a lot of the same type of products you'd find at a Walmart in the grocery section, but in a much smaller store. I mean, Five Below is very different. Five Below is a lot more discretionary merchandise. Five Below is very, very much targeted towards teens and preteens. So it is a little bit different. And to be perfectly honest with you, I mean, you saw these Walmart numbers, and one thing that Walmart talked about in the third quarter, even though they had a overall pretty good quarter, is that they saw some weakness in that core low-income consumer. And that gives me a lot of pause about Dollar General and Dollar Tree in the near term.
All right, Anthony, that's a good place to leave it. Great to get some time with you. Have a great weekend when you get there. That is Anthony Chukumba. He is head of the consumer sector over at Loop Capital Markets. And it's a good point. You know, you go to a Five Below, which it sounds like you're very well acquainted with.
It's one of my favorite stores.
They have a really fun selection of items, a lot of tchotchkes, and different sort of inventory than a dollar store, for example.
I've never actually been outside where the candy department is, which is near the front, so I wouldn't know. But yes, from the part that I've seen,
A single issue shopper when it comes